Mr. Quinn, I realize that you were the lone person who's not been involved in city government before, but I assume in running for office you have tried to evaluate the delivery of city services and the competency of it. Consider for a minute the various city departments: fire, rescue, police, parks and rec, public works, planning, street maintenance. Which ones do you think are in need of improvement, or do you think they're all just humming at maximum efficiency?
Great question. Like I said earlier, I'm not as well versed in the issues, and you're going to hear some great responses from the other candidates. However, here's what I'll tell you. Recently, and I hate to reference him because he's sitting in the audience today, but I know everybody here knows him, but recently in the local election, we elected an official who has transformed the office we elected him for. And I believe he has set the example that we need in this city. And that example is, it sounds very simplistic, and it sounds very cliche, but it's a transition to a can-do attitude. All right, I'm not going to pick on any specific branch because, quite frankly, I don't interact with them as regularly as my peers up here do. However, more and more stories that I hear knocking on doors, talking to friends, out in the neighborhoods, is that when they go downtown to do business, they don't always get the warm reception that we know we would want representing our city. So there's going to be a transition from the very top, from city council, permeates from leadership down, to how can we support you? How can we help you do what you need to do? So again, very general answer. I know you're going to hear some very specific stuff from some folks that are very engaged, and I applaud them for that. So thank you.
Our Parks and Rec is so desirable that people from the counties can't wait to sign their kids up for it. I think they're doing a great job with the facilities they have. We have fields, but expanding facilities at some point I think is a priority. Our police and fire, we've got community police that get into the communities and really get to know people. I think that's been very effective. Our fire, well, they have 3 lately and they put them out, so I guess they're doing a pretty good job. I guess I've heard and I understand myself sometimes the frustration with public works when it comes to leaf pickup. I had lots of leaves sitting on my street for months and months and months. So are there things that we can improve upon? Absolutely. Do we do a pretty good job with the staff we have at the level we have? I think so, and I think most people in the city recognize that. And yet, when it's not working, we do hear from you and we do try to improve it.
I think the city in general has a very good staff. One thing you need to understand, since the downturn, we've never had to really fire anybody, but we've basically, through attrition, have reduced our workforce. And I think that basically the city employees have done a great job, having to do a lot more work and there's a lot fewer employees. Having said that, though, we don't have 24/7 advanced life support right now. That's not having anything to do with the police department. That's a conscious decision in this community of whether or not that should be a priority. We talked about rental maintenance. We had a rental maintenance program. We got rid of it because of budgetary constraints. What this issue really is whether or not the council is ready to finally prioritize our expenditures. What is important to us as a community to have? There are needs and there are wants. We need to focus a little bit more on the needs and a little less on the wants. So what I would ask you as we go on, let us hear from you. We should have 24/7. If you've got an issue with the Public Works Department or any department, again, most of this is complaint-based right now because we don't have a large staff. If we want to have more staff, then we have to have a conversation on what it's going to cost, how to do it, and set the priorities. Thank you.
One minute to talk about each of the departments. What I'm going to do instead is suggest that you read the comprehensive plan and see what our plans are to grow each of those areas. It's not about what I see for each of those departments. It's about what we've agreed on as a community and what the goals are. Somebody asked the question at a recent forum of what is the job of city government. The ancient answer to that is to manage the lands within the bounds of the city government. The newer answer to that is to manage the lands and the infrastructure within the boundaries of the municipality in a way that gives the citizens the greatest quality of life. What we need here, again, is more partnerships. We need transparency. we need to change some of the paradigms at City Hall and the way that they interact with their community, the way they outreach, and that probably sums up my position. Thank you.